Start in about 3 minutes, folks. Good morning. It's 7:04 a.m. A quorum is present, and this meeting has been duly called and posted in a time and manner according to law. Thank you all for showing this morning, and at this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Todd Salzweddle, Senior Pastor at First United Methodist Church, to open the meeting with a prayer and lead the audience in the pledges to the United States of Texas.
Will you pray with me? Almighty God, creator of the universe source and author of all salvation. We pause this day to recognize that you are the giver of all gifts and that you invite us to be stewards of those gifts as your representatives and your witnesses in this world. There may be no greater gift than the gift of a child and the opportunity to help to raise the next generation to know you, to live in community, and to inspire the curiosity to expand their horizons in this your creation. God bless this body, that they may have the courage and the wisdom to make decisions that will continue to foster such growth in these young people. Bless our teachers and administrators charged with the task of being the front lines, those carriers of knowledge and encouragement. And as we continue to recognize the young students today that have done so much in their achievements, may that inspire them to continue to move forward, to be lifelong learners, become more knowledge of your creation and ultimately of you. God bless us this day, and may all that we do honor, praise, and witness to your goodness in our life. In the name of Christ our Lord we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, my brother. We really appreciate it this morning. This is one of the best mornings that we have in this final school board meeting before the end of the academic year. We've got a lot of graduations going on, and congratulations to those of you that have seniors who have finally got it to this point to walk across the stage. It's going to be a phenomenal time. We just pray for the health and safety of each one of our young men and women as they graduate. We're going to get ready to start some recognition. And parents, what I'm going to ask you to do, I think they've sort of coached you up in the hallway. Let us be patient with the recognitions of our students, and we're going to transition. So after we do one group, if that's been your group that has been recognized, you'll have those standing by to help usher you. But we want to give it a little brief moment in between time so that the parents that are waiting in the hall can come in and recognize their students as well. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Andrew Babcock, Executive Director of the Fine Arts, to the podium for the recognition of the Oak National Conference Choirs participants.
Thank you,
Babcock, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Pastor Stubblefield, Board, Dr. Rolo. Good morning. This is a fun day, of course, recognizing our Oak students. Oak stands for the Organization of American Kodály Educators, and they have a national conference that is held each year. These students are a reflection of an audition group that was selected. Each one of these students had the opportunity to record, and their results were juried by a panel, and they were selected to be a part of this national group that comprised of nearly 200 singers. We had 28 of our students from Lubbock ISD that represented, so if you're doing the math, we dominated pretty hard. So congratulations to these students. The students that performed in the Oak Conference today, or this last March, from Miller Elementary School, we have Quade Burris. Colin Cash. Aubrey Gonzalez. Cash McCulley. Riley Robertson. Everett Spitzberg. And Luke Spitzberg. These are the students that are represented from Miller Elementary, and we'll have some more here in just a moment. Students, come back up and we'll get a picture. Beverly Fleming is the elementary music teacher at Miller, and she sponsored these students part of this adventure.
Hold your certificates up for me. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Good job.
And now from Ramirez Elementary, we have Liliana Aguilar. Natalia Diosis. Zoe Pomeroy. And Britton Shekel. Kendall Mencio is their teacher from Ramirez Elementary, and students will have you come back up and get you a picture real quick.
Get right in the middle. Get right in the middle. Hold your certificates up.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
And now, students from Roscoe Wilson, we have Catherine Cunningham. Adelaide Deaver. Eden Finger. Cameron Herring. Chapel Jones. Mamie Jane Wright. Lowndes Thompson. They're not here today, I'm sorry. And then Wyatt Sweet. And last but not least, Hayden Zwo. Great. All right, students, come right back up and we'll get a picture. And Mandy Allgate is the Roscoe Wilson Superstar Elementary teacher, music teacher.
Hold your certificates up.
Hold those certificates up. There we go. Okay. Look here in 1, 2, 3.
And this year we had one student from our Cavazos Middle School, and that's Adrian Blakely. Yeah, so the elementary teachers were the sponsors for the secondary students this year, so this is probably great. I'm not for sure who was the elementary sponsor for Miss Fleming? Okay. Most of the secondary students were former students of these elementary teachers, so they adopt them and keep them. And from Evans Middle School, we have Julianne Barrage. Maggie Gray. And Lauren Mitchell. And I'm all but certain that Miss Fleming didn't let them go after they left Miller, so I'm sure she sponsored them.
Here we go, Evan.
One, two, three.
Good job.
And now from Hutchinson Middle School, we have Evan Cash. Anna Johnson. Mick Kern.
Come on this way.
Raiden Martinez.
I'm gonna take a picture.
Hudson McDougal. And Holden Melendez. Mandy Allgate, I'm sure, and Kendall also sponsored these fine young students.
Then we're gonna come back and take a group picture.
All right, come back and
Go
grab,
on
let's
back,
get a
guys.
picture.
Yeah.
Step up.
Get some more people on this.
No, there, sir. Let me get
Go ahead and hold up your certificates for me. Right here, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Ladies. Have a good summer. Good job, ladies. Y'all have a good summer. Well done.
One more group. We have our high school students on deck. A lot of these students have done this multiple years. Elementary is where they kick it off, but these students have continued on and done this in their middle school and high school years. So a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice, but amazing nonetheless. From Coronado High School, we have Addison Mitchell. And she's our one from Coronado, so if the teachers want to come get a picture real quick.
Mr. Huber?
Mr. Huber, hide in the back there.
Christopher, could you come up, please?
Now we have two from Lubbock High. First on deck is Bella Gisano. and Gabrielle Chaparral. All right, so let's come back and get a picture, Mr. Young.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
And now from Talkington, School for Young Women Leaders, we have Tinsley Drake. And Nazma Islam.
We're gonna take a group picture.
Yep, come on back. Should mention that these students work really hard not only to prepare for this, but they also raise the funds to be able to go to this event as well. So a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication by the parents and students as well.
1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. And last but not least, Jared, how many years have you done this now? You did, for a long, long time. I think he was born in 7 years, so been around for a while, done it all. Jarrett Barrage from Monterey High School. Congratulations. Again, parents, thank you for all your support and for the fine arts in Lubbock ISD. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Mr. Babcock. And now we're going to go to the recognition of our esports state qualifying teams. So I'd like to invite Ms. Carrie Fulgham to the podium. She is the digital learning coordinator. Morning,
Good
Carrie.
morning. How are you?
Carrie, let's wait just a second.
Okay. It's my honor to recognize the state and national qualifiers and champions for Lubbock ISD's esports program. These students have competed throughout the school year in multiple leagues and tournaments. The esports program is one of the fastest growing opportunities for students nationwide, with over $16 million given out in college scholarships last year. Lubbock ISD currently has 8 programs with plans to add 4 more next year. We would like to thank you for the opportunity to recognize these students and for your support of this program. From McCool Academy, we have Ephraim Barnes, Art Perez,
Right here, we're going to take a picture. Congratulations.
Jonathan Valdez, Alexis Charles, Addison Croup, Soraya Martinez. Jonah Carrasco. Josh Carrasco. Jude Colbert. And Jean Solis. Our coaches from McCool Academy are Elgin Gregg and Corey Eastley.
You're gonna take a group photo.
Your picture. Go back up again.
These coaches over here. Tallest in the back.
David Beam is also one of the coaches that's here with us today. Thank you. The McCool program has grown tremendously, so we continue
Let's
to
get some of
add to
y'all.
that.
Come on.
Okay, everyone hold your certificates up for me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Try not to hide your face.
All right, good job.
Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Nice video.
Either way, either way.
There you go.
Our next group is from Lubbock High School. We have Joseph Boo,
This way, Justin.
Kane Orta,
I'm gonna shake some hands right here. Go this way.
Jack Cool, Braden Mills, Johnny Flores, our first student to sign for a college for esports, Jackson Gayona. He'll be attending Lubbock Christian in the fall.
It was his baseball coach. Led him to this point.
Shake some other hands.
Nicholas Munoz, Sunny Albano, Michael Bautista, John Choi, Noah Herrera, and Braden Podlecki. And our coaches for our Lubbock High esports team are Dr. Chris West and Gray Williamson.
To all those folks in the back. Somebody got to explain these shirts.
These are their jerseys.
Let's make two lines. There are tall ones in the back and shorter ones in the front. This way, yeah. Okay, and everyone hold your certificate up, please. And then in the back, can you guys scoot this way just a little bit? There we go. Now I can see your faces. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Good job. As we transition into the next recognition, which would be the recognition of our state qualifying athletes, I'd like to invite Mike Meeks to the podium, Executive Director of Athletics. Morning, Coach.
Good morning. Mr. Stubblefield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rello, thank you so much for allowing us to recognize our state qualifying athletes. We also have academic all-state and all-state and super elite kids today. Oh,
We're waiting on some parents to get in.
Sorry, Mike.
oh, it's all right. I'll skip it.
You're on the clock too, sir.
4 pages. You surprised?
No.
Parents, again, good morning. This is our recognition portion of recognizing our state qualifying athletes and also our athletes that have been designated to All-State and academic All-State. And at the podium at this time is the Executive Director of Athletics, Coach Mike Meeks. Coach.
All right, thank you. Good morning, and for the sake of the parents, a redo. I got started a little quick a while ago. But Board of Trustees, Dr. Rello, thank you so much for the opportunity to recognize our state qualifying athletes, academic all-state, super elite teams. These groups will come to you. The academic all-state teams will come to you from the Texas High School Coaches Association, Texas Girls Coaches Association, and the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches. We will begin with the state qualifying athletes. We'll start with golf. Okay, Preston DeFriend. Senior from Coronado High School. Preston just returned this week, Monday and Tuesday, returning from the UIL State Championships in Georgetown, Texas at the White Wing Golf Course. He finished in the top 10 in the state of Texas, finishing in 9th place, shooting on opening day 68, finishing with a two-day total of 147. He's headed to Abilene Christian to play golf. He's coached by his golf coach is Coach Joe Welburn.
Mr. Huber.
And 1, 2, 3.
Okay, next up is Will Burkeen, junior from Lubbock High School. Will competed at the Texas High School Gymnastics Coaches Association state meet at A&M Consolidated High School on April 27th and 28th. Now, hang on here. He competed in the floor exercise, the rings, horizontal bar, pommel horse, vault, parallel bars. He was a boys compulsory all-around 5th place out of 139 gymnasts. Boys optional all-around 9th place out of 138 gymnasts. Boys combined all-around 9th place out of 139 with a high score of 19 and a 2-day total in the rings. Y'all know there's only 10, you only get 10 points, score of 10. He had a score of 19, and he is coached by Darren Sanderson from Lubbock High School.
Good job.
Okay, track and field. The UIL State Track Championships were held in Austin, Texas on May 11th and 12th. We took 10 athletes in seven events, kids from every high school in Lubbock ISD. Not here today is Anisha Harris from Coronado High School. She finished in 8th place in 1,600 meter run with a time of 5:13.66, and she's coached by Callista Garcia. And I don't think Z's here today, so.
But we're going to clap for
But
her.
we're gonna clap for her. Exactly right. Okay, next up, they're all here. The relay team, from Estacada High School. Listen carefully. 800 meter relay team from Estacada High School. 9th grader James Bozeman. 11th grader Delton Johnson. 9th grader Cedric Ross. 9th grader Donovan Torres.
Oh, wow.
These guys came out of nowhere and went to Austin. And they're so excited to see these guys run. And if you were listening carefully, you heard 3 9th graders right there, and they're all back next year. And we certainly expect to go back to Austin. Is that right, guys? Okay, they finished in 9th place with a time of 1:29.58, and they're coached by head track coach Jeremy Watson.
Come on back.
Okay, from Lubbock High School, familiar face, sophomore Reese Pena. Reese placed fifth in the 3,200-meter run with a time of 10 minutes, 54 seconds, .58. She finished in sixth place in the 1,600-meter run with a time of 5 minutes, 5 seconds, .88. Next up is senior Elizabeth Flores. Elizabeth competed in the 400-meter dash, finished in the ninth place, time of 58 seconds, .24. Next is ninth grader Isaac Montoya. Isaac competed in the 100-meter wheelchair event, finishing in 19 seconds, .18. He also competed in the 400-meter wheelchair race, finishing in sixth place with a time of 79.28. Lubbock High boys and girls coach is Michael Sparks and Jeremy Maxfield. And Ernie Gonzalez is here today too. Okay, from Monterey High School, not in attendance, is senior Hebrew Hunter. He competed in the triple jump. He earned third place, bronze medalist with a jump of 48 feet, 5 inches, 5¼ inches. And then senior Brandon Infante is not here today as well. He competed in the high jump, finishing in sixth place with a jump of 6 feet 4 inches. Would give both of them a round of applause, please. And finally, senior David Mora from Monterey High School. David competed at the state track meet in the 1,600-meter run. He was in third place, bronze medalist in the state of Texas. He ran the mile run, that's 4 laps around the track, 4 minutes, 13 seconds, .61. He was coached this year by Krista Jones and Hunter Debris. Okay, all-state and all-state, all-academic, all-state awards. We have multiple kids in multiple classifications within THSCA, TGCA, and TABC, so I may be just a little bit all over the place. Y'all just hang on here. Just hang on here. So, all right, from Coronado High School, first up is senior Grace Caldwell. Grace competed in girls soccer. She was THSCA first team academic all-state. She was 12th in her class out of 481, had a GPA of 4.766. And before I move any further with academic awards, I just want to say this to the board, that I'm not sure we've brought a better group of student athletes in front of you today, and I think you'll notice that by their class ranks and GPA here in just a moment. So it's a great group of student athletes. Next up is senior Jet Carroll. Jet competed in baseball. THSCA first team academic all-state. He was 31 out of 481 in his class. He had a GPA of 4.533. Next is senior John Curry. John was THSCA first team academic all-state in baseball. He was 9th in his class out of 481, finished with a 4.8148 GPA. Next is senior Max Kinsner. He was also THSCA first team academic all-state in baseball. He's number 2 in his class out of 481. Finished the year with a GPA of 4.9000. Grace was coached by her father, head soccer coach Alistair Caldwell. Is he here today? Come on up, get a picture with Grace. And the baseball guys were coached by Brad Bibb.
Yeah, scoot this way.
And 1, 2, 3.
Baseball.
So funny.
And 1, 2, 3.
Just trying to figure it
Oh,
out.
there we go. 1, 2.
Thank you.
Okay, from Lubbock High School, not in attendance today, is Jones Lambert. We've already had Jones in front of you earlier in the year, but since then, he was also named to the THSCA, basically their all-state team, their super elite, 5A super elite team, and he was the MVP of that super elite team, and he's not in here today, so please congratulate Jones Lambert. Jones is coached by Trey Hayes. I'm not sure Trey's here this morning. Okay, from Monterey High School, these are THSCA awards. 9th grader, America Alviso. America competed in girls soccer. She was on the 5A girls super elite team. Next is senior Mason Bond. Mason competed in boys soccer. He was also on the first team academic all-state team, finishing 2nd in his class out of 464 with 4.9183 GPA. Next is sophomore Frankie Diaz. Frankie was also on the boys soccer team, also was a member of the 5A boys super elite team in boys soccer. Next is senior Jarius Johns. Jarius was a member of the boys soccer team. He was a member of the 5A boys super elite team, and he was also named on that super elite team as the defensive player of the year in the state of Texas. Senior Marin Noble. Marin was a member of the girls track team. She was first team academic all-state. She was 12th in her class out of 464. She finished with a 4.75 GPA. Sophomore Reese Razor. Member of the Monterey boys soccer team. Was also a member of the 5A boys super elite team. And TK Young is also on this list. Senior TK Young out of boys basketball was first team academic All-State, 8th out in his class, 464, 4.835 GPA. So please recognize TK Young. Our coaches for this group, girls soccer is Jared Loeffler, boys soccer coach Simon Hernandez, and Josh Davis, boys basketball coach.
Where's that? 1, 2, 3.
And Krista Jones.
Oh, Mary, your worst nightmare picture with me. Yep, get another one on Friday.
And 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we love her. Spring painted next week too.
All right. Texas Association of Basketball Coaches Awards from Estacada High School, senior Dante Boyd.
Right around Coach Meeks.
Are there parents that need to come in? Are there people coming in?
We got some parents coming.
Dante was all-state. He had 14.7 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, and he was coached by Tony Wagner.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, from Monterey High School, senior Mackenzie Begay. Mackenzie was TABC Academic All-State. She was 120 out of 461, with GPA of 3.61. All right, next is sophomore Leah Chavez. Because I need more time. Okay. Okay. She was all-state TABC. She averaged 30 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists per game, 3.1 steals per game. She was TABC 5A Girls Player of the Year. She was the TABC free throw champion of the year at 130 free throws. She was the SB Live National Player of the Year, Max Prep Sophomore All-American First Team, Naismith High School Girls All-American Team Third Team, and the Monterey School Record holder as a sophomore with 2,021 points. She was also the THSCA 5A Girls Super Elite MVP, Aaliyah Chavez. Next is senior Kelly Mora. Kelly TABC All-State career stats, 15.1 points per game, 11.1 rebounds per game, 2.8 blocks per game. School record rebounds, 552. She just last week participated in the TABC All-Star game, and she'll be moving on to play for the Lady Raiders next fall. Kelly Moore. And the coach for the Lady Plainsmen, Jill Schneider.
Firmly on a bandwagon right now. Yeah. All principle.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for all you do, Chad.
Okay, next from Coronado High School, senior Trista Arnold. Trista was THSCA Academic All-State. She was also TGCA Support Staff Academic All-State, finished in 6th in her class out of 481 with a GPA of 4.8437. And Amber's not here, I guess. And not in attendance is senior Amber Avila. She was also TGCA Support Staff Academic All-State, 71 out of 481 with a 4.0 GPA. Please recognize senior Amber Avila. The next is senior Kaya Smith. Kaya was THSCA Academic All-State, finishing number 1 in her class of 481 with a GPA of 4.9062. She was also on the THSCA 5A Super Elite team. She was also TGCA All-State, 16.9 points per game, 11.3 rebounds per game, 1.9 blocks per game, and she'll be continuing her basketball career at West Point.
Yep.
Kaya Smith. She's also coached. These girls are coached by head basketball girls coach at Coronado, Ashley James.
Everyone scoot this way. Little more. Okay. And 1, 2, 3.
That concludes our recognition portion of our agenda. And at this time, item number 3 on our agenda is an executive closed session. An executive closed session will be held under the provisions of Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. It is 8 a.m. and we are adjourned to closed session. It is 8:27 a.m. and we are returned from closed session. Do we have any action items?
Yes, sir.
Trustee Curry.
And before I actually say the motion, it's a personal privilege for me to be able to do this, having known him and his father since '99 when I first got to Tech. So I move that we hire David Moody as the principal of Parsons Elementary School.
Have a
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimous. Congratulations.
First, like to thank Board of Trustees, Mr. Stofield, Mr. Curry, Mr. Rattler, and of course, Dr. Rello. I'd also like to thank Executive Principal Amy Stevens. Thank you all for giving me this this awesome opportunity. I'm grateful and honored, and understand that to whom much is given, much is required. And I will do my best to lead this campus forward into the future. One of Dr. Rollo's pillars of loving people is what I strive to do each and every day. And so just thankful, looking forward to getting to know the people of and the community of, immersing myself in the community of Parsons and building those new connections and new relationships. I'd like to thank the E, who has been my home for the past 10 years, and being at Estacado has allowed me to mature and to grow. And I always cherish the relationships and the connections that I've made on the east side of Lubbock. But before I'm seated, I want to introduce my family, my wife, my daughter, Zanaya, my son, Zyron, my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Moody. And I also would like to thank a couple members of the Estacado family that's here today. Ms. Wilbanks, our principal, associate principal, Mr. Reed Reyes, and Amy Stevens, our instructional coach. Y'all have been a light and mentors to me, and I'm dearly going to miss you, and just thank you for the momentous opportunity. I appreciate it.
You got that. Mom and Dad, you know.
Yes, sir. I did.
Okay.
He said
All right.
Mr. and Mrs.
Mr. and Mrs. Okay, we know him as Coach. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Moody. It's been a long time coming, and we are sure that you're going to do an outstanding and exceptional job.
Thank you.
Thank you again. This time we're going to open it up for trustee comments. Immediately following trustee comments, we're going to take a brief, about 5 to 7 minute recess so that we can get some pictures and shake hands with Mr. Moody and get that congratulations in order. But we will start with trustee comments. Trustees?
Mr. Moody, congratulations. We're thrilled to have you over at Parsons, and I know you're going to do a wonderful job. You have such huge respect in Lubbock ISD, so thank you very much for stepping up.
I would say the same thing. Congratulations, and your tenure speaks for itself, and we know you've had plenty of options, and we're grateful that you've stayed with Lubbock ISD, and we look forward to your continued success.
Yeah, likewise, proud of and for you, and you obviously had great role models, and so you got big shoes to fill, but we're excited for you, and I know Estacado, based on the Kleenex back there, is sad to see you go. So hopefully Parsons isn't crying either after. But and then to the kids that came this morning, you know, it still amazes me everything that we have to offer here at the district. Having a son graduating, this has all been hitting me pretty hard, and so I'm personally thankful for the humans that have invested in my oldest, and the humans that continue to invest in my 2 younger ones, and so. I know this year's been rough for a lot of people in a lot of ways, and I know that we've got some naysayers, but to the educators and the administrators and all those that support LSD, man, job well done this year. And there's a lot of people that have your back, even when others don't. And so just know we're thankful. And our fearless leader is a constant cheerleader. We have an inside joke She's glass half full. I'm glass half empty. But want to thank you for your leadership this year and wish you a happy early birthday for this Saturday. We appreciate you.
Well said. Again, my thoughts is, man, the Lord He's had His hand on your life. You come from a good place, a good foundation, and the grace and peace that He's given through your father and your mother, it's definitely upon you as well. And I know that you'll lead in such a way that it might set a new standard. I truly believe that. And you got a great support network right there with the family that you have with your kids and your wife. No doubt, we trust what He's doing in you. We are in a great time when we get an opportunity to do the recognitions that we've done, recognizing so many phenomenal athletes. And what I love is when we get to recognize our academic athletes, to hear those GPAs and to realize that it's not just all about sports with those kids. It's about staying at the top of their class ranking and getting those scholarships that we trust that they will get. So it's always a great time when we get to recognize them. And it's a particular special moment is recognizing Isaac, our first para-athlete as a freshman, and he went down the state and competed. I trust that we'll see him before this dais many more years to come. And then I'd be remiss if we didn't realize how blessed we were as a district to have little Miss Aaliyah Chavez and Kelly Moore and Jill with that great team, all of those that she recognized. And then with our young man, Mr. DeFriend, and how far he went. His sky's the limit on so many. I hope that all that we're here, and even with our esports team, I don't know if y'all caught it, but Kelly said that $60 million in scholarships annually where esports is concerned. So we're in a great place when we have an esports team. Not every district does, but it's constantly increasing. So I'm glad we're one of the pioneers here in West Texas and leading the charge on that, right? And thank you to our principals and our partners and everyone here that support those students, their families, and their loved ones. We truly appreciate you. This time we're going to take about a 5 to 7 minute recess. Board members, let's try to be back in by 8:42. At this time, we're adjourned for recess. It's 8:45 and we are reconvened from the recess. The next item on our agenda is citizens' comments. Before we begin, I would like to review the provisions in board policy governing the procedures for public participation as reflected in BED Local. The audience shall not enter in discussion or debate on the matters being considered by the board. I will remind members of the board that the citizens' comment section of our board meeting is for the purpose of listening to patrons. We are not allowed to comment or debate on issues that are not posted. No presentation shall exceed 3 minutes, and a timer will go off at the completion of these 3 minutes. I would ask that you conclude your comments within this time limit allowed. As I call your name, if you would come up to the podium, please state your name and your address for the record. At this time, I'd like to invite Lauren Smith to the podium. Good morning, Lauren.
Lauren Smith, 7005 22nd Street, Lubbock, Texas, 79407. Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo, my name is Lauren Smith, and I'm the president of the Lubbock Educators Association, TSTA, representing over 1,300 members. This year, I had a great privilege and opportunity to be a part of the Budget Development Committee meetings to learn about the many parts of the budget development process. On behalf of LEA, I appreciate this opportunity to be a part of the committee, and I've learned a lot of information that I've been able to share with our members. Last week, Clinton and I had the opportunity to meet with some of you to review the budgets from the last few years. It was our hope to meet with everyone, but Clinton is in Austin for the legislative session doing some work. So I'd like to review a few things that we found. Lubbock ISD has consistently presented a balanced budget for approval each year, which is very commendable. As amendments are made each year, there is a projection for a deficit by the end of the year. However, in 5 of the last 6 years, the audited end-of-year budget has been a surplus of anywhere from $1 million to more than $26 million. We know that ESSER funds have caused those numbers to be higher than normal the last couple of years, and some expenses come out of the fund balance each year. But ultimately, Lubbock ISD has grown the fund balance to a very healthy amount over the last few years, even in light of declining student enrollment. As you look to pass a budget this year, LEA asks that you please be mindful of inflation that all employees are currently facing and do everything you can to pass a salary increase for all employees that will be meaningful. We must work together to slow down the teacher turnover rate so we can keep the best employees in Lubbock ISD so our students can have the best. We also know that as Lubbock ISD invests in their teachers, they're gaining more and more experience, and we want that experience to stay with us. While pay isn't everything, we know that it plays a big part in attracting and retaining staff, especially in our area. Having a surplus at the end of the year is always a great thing, so LEA asks that you pass a budget. As you pass a budget, any salary increases reflect the most that you believe is possible to not have a deficit or a large surplus at the end of the year. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your investment in this district and employees and students of Lubbock ISD. I look forward to next year and seeing what more great things we can do together. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Lauren. Next, I'd like to invite Ignacio Luan to the podium. Ignacio. Okay, we'll call back here in a moment. Next, I'd like to invite Tony Chavez to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tony Chavez. Address is 13717 Red Springs Avenue. Good morning, everyone. My question is, we had all these students come this morning celebrating. They're great things they did. What about the Estacado Law Program? Have you guys talked about that? Have you guys voted on canceling the program? I know there's two Board of Trustees that did vote on it, Mr. Stubblefield and Mr. Brady. December 1st, 2022, the district canceled the law program in Estacado. The district advised me that they would be transferring the program to ATC, and I would not be transferred to the program. They would assign me to another position within the district. On February 21st, 2023, the ATC had a meeting with the ELPN organization and announced Mr. Deshawn as the program director. On May 1st, 2023, I was given an assignment for the college career in 2 other campuses. So I'm being taken out of Estacado High School, out of the students that I've been teaching for 1, 2, 3 years. I'm being taken out of their lives completely, transferred to Dunbar. If it's every child every day, how is that possible? I've been with these students for 3 years. This is a very successful program. When Ms. Reber did the conference back December 1st of 2022, counseling the program, she goes, the only reason why we're telling you is because we're coming out with catalog. That's why we're telling you. Do you have any questions? I said, well, the way I've been treated this year, it's not surprising. She told me, I'm glad you saw the writing on the wall. What does that mean? I'm glad you saw the writing on the wall. You guys planned this. You guys didn't do anything about it. You've taken every opportunity from these kids, 65 kids. If you minus the 12, I have 55. 55 kids are being affected every single day. We have 5 students going from the Estacado to ATC for the program. The ATC has had the program for 6 years. But LISD is making it seem like it's a brand new program. Brand new. It's been there for 6 years. I've been Estacado for 7. Why is it now that we want to give all the opportunities to all the students when it's been there for 6 years? Estacado started the law program. Why is it being canceled? Why am I not going with the program? Why am I not going with the students? I'm being taken away from each and every one of these students. That's the problem. That's the problem that I have. I have a successful program. I have students that went to the military, college. It is not a failing program. The district has not recognized Estacado Law Program not one time. Never said anything positive about me nor the program. So I want you guys, my final statement is, writing on the wall, karma. You guys are elected officials. Keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. This time I'd like to invite Ms. Ellie Marie Chavez to the podium. Okay. Next, I'd like to invite, and forgive me with this name, Nia Dukowski.
Close.
How do you, Dukowski? Dukowski. Ms. Dukowski,
My
good morning.
name is Nia Dukowski. I live at 6208 York Drive. And okay, I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I am on a limited time schedule, so I'm going to talk at 2 times speed. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm a product of LISD schools, with the exception of 3 years. One of those 3 years I was homeschooled and I hated it, and I attended private school in the 2 other years. In 6th grade, my parents gave me the option to keep attending private school or to return to LISD schools. I chose to return to LISD schools, and in 7th through 12th grade, I attended LISD schools and graduated from LHS, Go Westerners. And so what I thought when I became a mom was what is good enough for my son was good enough for me, but I was wrong. And so I'm going to give you an example of what's allowed to be taught under the SEL umbrella, or what I like to call socialist emotional learning. And we'll be harping on this issue, so there'll be more on it to come. I want you to know that what I'm about to say, there was no parental warning, no permission or involvement prior to this lesson being given. And to the principal's credit, when I brought her my grievances, she did recognize that there was a problem with it and admitted it. But the question remains as to how this was able to come out of a committee and be taught to the entire middle school. Still no answer to that question. So to give you some context, the title of this lesson that was given during what they call networking, what I used to know as study hall or advisory, the title of it is called More Than Friends, Understanding Romantic Relationships. For a little context, they gave scenarios and then they discussed the scenarios with the students. I'm going to read a scenario. I've shortened it for time. If you like the full scenario, I do have it. It says, Dylan pretends not to see her until one day Olivia pretends to trip and drop her books. This leads to hanging out a few more days that week, texting and FaceTime every night, and finally, one afternoon, when they were watching a movie, a kiss. Officially a couple, they spend as much time on their own as they can, kissing and touching each other. Everything's going great, although Olivia feels like other students are now interested in Dylan since they became a couple. She doesn't say anything because she doesn't want to seem jealous, even though she is. Dylan doesn't get why Olivia seems mad about something. She even asked to borrow Dylan's phone to look something up, but then went through Dylan's text. Dylan didn't like that, but didn't say anything. Besides, Olivia kissed Dylan when she returned the phone, and that always fixes things. One afternoon, Olivia says, "So, you want to?" Dylan doesn't know what she's talking about, but doesn't want to show it, so just nods and keeps kissing her. When Olivia starts taking off her clothes, Dylan realizes what's about to happen, but isn't sure it should. Should I say something? Should we talk about it more first? All these thoughts are going through Dylan's head. Dylan's phone rings, and it's Dylan's mom saying she needs Dylan to come home. Dylan kisses Olivia and says, "You're so beautiful, I'll text you later," and runs out. I'm just giving you guys a taste of what is allowed under this SEL umbrella. It's a cancer, and it needs to be eradicated from the schools. And like I said, I will be presenting this until I'm dead or you guys get it removed from the system because I believe it is a cancer. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Dukowski, thank you. And if you those handouts, if you want to leave them with Mr. Rodriguez, that'd be great. He'd make sure and get them to the rest of us. This time I'd like to invite Ralph Garcia to the podium. Good morning, sir.
My name is Ralph Garcia. My address is 3301 East Colgate. I just want to say, like Mr. Chavez, about the law program in Estacado. I think it's a good thing for these students. I mean, I personally, I mean, my daughter, I mean, but also said that she didn't want to go to the ATC. You know, she wants to stay at Estacado. You know, and so I mean, I just want to say that. I mean, personally, I mean, I think it should remain at Estacado. Anyway, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. This time I'd like to invite Miss Emily Garcia to the podium.
Good morning. My name is Emily Garcia, and my address is 3301 East Colgate. I am here to state that taking out the law program at Estacado will ruin my opportunity to experience the real world in my future career perspective. We deserve to have our own program to represent our school. Taking it out means leaving our instructor, who puts us all into this program, and who has been very impactful to all of us, that participates in this program. And in addition, I refuse to attend the ATC program without my instructor. And if I may, I would like to present the Estacado Law video. Thank you.
And on the video, what we can do, if you can get it on a flash drive, it'll be handed out to each one of us, okay? I'll get that back to you. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Okay. I want to go back over a couple of names that we didn't hear. Ignacio Luan. Okay. And Ellie Marie Chavez. Okay. That concludes our citizens' comments portion. We'll move to the next item on our agenda, item number 7, financials. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board meeting on any of the financial items posted? Seeing none, we'll move to approval of the budget summary report for the month ending April 30, 2023, budget amendments and budget transfers for the month of the same period, statement of taxes collected of the month ending April 30, 2023, and investment report for the period of April 1st through April 30th, 2023. Ms. Jennings.
Good morning.
Good morning.
These are the financials for April 30th through April 30th of 2023. So 2 months left in our fiscal year. We are tracking normally from what we expected as far as revenue and expenditures go. There was a major one major amendment for the month, and that was the $698,000 recognition of fund balance to pay for the property insurance increase. Because as you know, because that starts in April, we have to then accrue 3 months and then defer the next 9 months. And so because of that increase, we had to recognize that additional money. And then no major budget transfers for the month. Tax collections came in at over 100%, so that is really good. And our average rate of return on investments as of right now is 5.456%. So very good compared to the last few years. That's it, just the highlights, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Trustees, any questions?
Motion to approve is presented.
Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 8, the consent agenda. Consider board approval of minutes for the workshop meeting held April 13, 2023, and the regular meeting held April 27, 2023. Do we have any corrections to the minutes from the April meetings of the board as printed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as printed. Item 9, academic action items. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board regarding the academic action items posted? Seeing none. Item A, we consider issuing a school district teaching permit for Sarah Choate to teach course in career and technical education certified by the superintendent. Dr. Rilla?
Yes, so you guys are aware that for certain courses, we can bring to you people who have industry experience to teach in these CT courses. So we have 2 of these to approve today. The first one is Sarah Choate, and you can see her background, but we are asking for your approval for her to teach business and career classes in our CTE programming.
Any questions? I have a motion to approve the CTE certification.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Likewise, consider issuing a district teaching permit for Whitney Smith.
Yes, so we are asking for your approval to allow Whitney Smith to teach family and consumer science courses in our CT programming. She has a bachelor's degree in human development and family studies and has career experience.
I have a motion to approve a permit for Whitney Smith.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item C, approval of a state waiver for low attendance. Dr. Wood.
Yes, so we are asking for you to consider and approve a request for a waiver for last two Fridays ago.
Yeah.
We had a fabricated social media threat that was circulating, and we had a lot of parents pick up their children during the day on Thursday, and then our attendance on Friday was 69.51%, which last year on the same day was 90.54%. And so anytime we have 10% or more decrease, we can come to you and ask for your approval to submit a waiver request to TEA.
Trustees, any comments? Motion to approve the waiver.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item D, approval of curriculum materials for instruction relating to child abuse, family violence, dating violence, sex trafficking, and suicide prevention, as recommended by the School Health Advisory Council, or SHAC. Dr. Rowe.
Yeah, so last meeting, Catherine Wells was here, and she presented to you some curriculum that the SHAC committee is recommending that we approve to address these areas that you just outlined that are in state law that we must teach. And this will be an opt-in for parents for their children to participate. We'll have the curriculum resources posted on our website so that parents can preview those to determine if they are okay with their children participating in that.
Trustees, any questions?
What grade levels? Is this all grade levels? All grade levels. So they reviewed the materials for each grade level, and it's opt-in, meaning if you don't hear from a parent, then they're automatically, the child would not be subject to that.
One portion is opt-in and one portion is opt-out.
Okay.
Because the laws have two separate sets of rules.
Okay.
So it'll be part of the registration program. That
Okay.
You can opt in or opt out.
Okay.
For each portion, and then you can see all of the activities online.
Okay.
And I want to thank our SHAC committee for taking the time to research the different curriculum options that are out there and making this recommendation. That took quite a bit of time on their part.
Can you give us a refresher on who makes up the Student Health Advisory Council?
So it's community members, and Catherine Wells, who is the City of Lubbock Health Department leader, is the one who is the chairman of that committee. And then it's community members, we have some teachers, we have some administrators, but the majority of the members are community members.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve the curriculum as given and reviewed by the SHAC?
I move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item E, approval of memorandum of understanding with Star Care Specialty Health Systems. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, so you guys are very well aware that Star Care is a phenomenal partner with us in helping provide mental health services, time, resources to help us with staff and students and families in need. And so this is just asking for your approval of our upcoming MOU.
Questions? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Approval of authority to negotiate and execute an early childhood interventional developmental education birth to 3 memorandum of understanding. Since we don't like calling it ECI debt, let's just write the whole thing out, right? Dr. Rollo.
Yes, so Lubbock ISD is very proud to be the fiscal agent and governance entity for our area ECI debt, which serves birth through age 3 children, providing those early intervention services. And we're grateful to Brian Sessom and the fantastic job he does leading that, and Kami Finger and her team for everything they do to support our youngest children in our community to get the services that they need.
Trustees, any questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion to approve the ECI debt memorandum.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item 10 on the agenda is a presentation, the budget presentation, and I will give it back to Mrs. Shay Jennings.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning again.
This is our next to last budget workshop, believe it or not. Here again are just those key calendar dates. We will have one more budget workshop on the 15th where we will adopt the budget for 23-24 as well as propose a tax rate. And then we will, in August, actually adopt our tax rate once our certified values come in, and hopefully we know more what the legislature is going to do at that point as far as compression and things like that. Budget development and assumptions, nothing has changed since last time. You see there our preliminary LCAD values came in at 6.4% increase over the certified values last year. Taking that same percentage and applying that to the comptroller's property values, you see the increase there from to the 14. And then we're assuming an average daily attendance of 22,445, down from 24,137. That is because of enrollment has gone down every year, and then our ADA numbers, our attendance numbers, percentages have been lower than they have in previous years. Our proposed tax rate right now is for the maintenance and operations 0.8652, and then an interest and sinking rate of 17.5 cents for a total proposed tax rate of $1.402. And there you see our tax rates year over year, and you can see where House Bill 3 kicked in 1920, where we've seen that continual compression of our maintenance and operations tax rate. Our current law model, our revenues, year over year, you're seeing a decrease of $2.1 million, despite the fact that they increased the yield, the Austin yield on the 6 golden pennies, which generated an additional $4 to $5 million because we reduced our ADA by $16.92. You see that year over year decrease of $2.1 million. And there are those numbers broken out. You see our taxes went up $3.5 million due to property value growth. And then our available school fund, foundation school fund, and foundation school fund, the Senate Bill 1882, which is the LPN charter money. You see a reduction there on those. And then all other general resources, a $2.5 million increase, which is $1.5 million in interest revenue and $1 million in indirect costs that we can collect on grants. General operating expenditures, you can see that we have that same $2.1 million deficit, which means we have a balanced budget as of right now. Just note that this balanced budget does not take into any consideration raises. That we're hoping that we get some relief from the legislature on that, and so we will bring hopefully a compensation package to you later in the year on that. And so you can see our payroll expenses are down $6.7 million. We were able to, thanks to Misty and Beverly and their team, move $8.1 million of professional salaries to ESSER 3 for one more year, but that will be the last year that we have that relief. And then contracted services, you see an increase of $24,880. Materials and supplies, $328,000 increase, $200,000 of that is fuel. $6,400, you see an increase of $3.8 million. That's almost solely due to the increase in our property insurance premium. And then $6,600 capital outlay, $496,275. We did not have any capital outlay in the budget last year, so this is putting back some Sodexo equipment, some police vehicles, and one bus, which is the required match on the school bus grant that we got. Major increases, you see there classified salaries, a $291,000 increase. That includes additional SPED aides and 3 new police officers. A health insurance increase of $2.4 million. We deferred that increase last year to balance the budget. And then electricity, a $290,000 increase. That is just an estimated increase due to deregulation. We don't know what that's going to be, but we do anticipate we're going to wind up paying more. And then an increase in the Sodexo contract of $309,000. That is just a CPI increase. It does not include any wage increases. Fuel, there you see that increase of $223,500. Property insurance, there's that $3.7 million increase. Vehicles, $352,000, and then equipment of $144,275. Major decreases. Professional stipends are down $600,000. Remember that the Dunbar ACE stipends were reduced from $10,000 to $3,000, and then there was just some additional stipend cleanup. Professional salaries are down to $8.7 million. That includes $8.1 million that we will move to ESSER for next year. Deferred maintenance, in order to get the budget to balance, we did move $1.4 million out of deferred maintenance. We feel like we're getting, with the settlement, the Hell claim settlement that's coming up, we could use a portion of that for deferred maintenance, so we felt comfortable doing that in order to get the balanced budget. And then employee travel is down $116,000, and miscellaneous operating down $142,000. So there you see preliminary revenues over expenditures, current law. We started out on 4/27 with a $9.4 million deficit. Then when we came back on the 11th, we had a $2.9 million deficit. And today we're bringing to you that balanced budget, again, without any kind of compensation package. If we were to give a raise based on the TASB compensation study that we did, a 2% raise right now would leave us with a $4.3 million deficit, and a 3% raise would leave us just shy of a $6 million deficit. Again, we are anticipating some legislative relief. We just don't know what that is yet. We still don't know anything any more than we did when we came to you 2 weeks ago. And debt service budget, which we are also required to bring to you. You see there, we have a balanced budget just shy of $25 million. Revenue, the increase in revenue is strictly due to the increase in property values and then also an increase in interest revenue for an overall increase of $3.1 million. Same increase on the expenditure side. You see an increase in bond principal of $5.3 million, bond interest, a decrease of $2.1 million, and then other debt service fees, just an increase of $9,000. This does include, because we have had such an increase in property values and we have not reduced our tax rate, this does include, we'll have to do about approximately $8 million in early bond payoffs next year in order to justify this payment. And as of yesterday, the Senate Bill 1814 that we were looking at that would have required us to lower our debt rate is dead. So unless that comes back in a special session, we should be fine to keep that 17.5 cents and continue to pay off debt early and use that towards bond elections without passing any tax increase. Food service revenues over expenditures. You see there you have a $20 million balanced budget. And there's that breakdown. Overall, the majority of the revenue increase is due to the federal revenue that we get reimbursed for meals. So you see a $1.7 million increase in revenue, and then that same $1.7 million increase in expenditures. And that is it. Nathan and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And again, all of the backup to all of these numbers is in your book.
Trustees?
I
Questions?
don't have any questions.
No questions. I just, for the benefit of our colleagues that aren't on the finance committee, and then for the benefit of the teacher orgs and whatnot, and I appreciate Lauren's comments earlier. Had it not been, or I shouldn't say for it not been, but you take the health insurance and the property insurance increase alone, that equates to almost a 4% raise across the board. And so, there's expenses that we have no control over, property insurance being one of those. It's my first year on the school board, I believe it was $256,000. This year it was $5.9 million. And so trying to find funds for those, and health insurance I think has gone up probably 25% since I first got on here, and the district continues to eat that additional cost, which is the right thing to do. But to Lauren and to the others, we hear you, and I assure you that every meeting we have, we talk about what we can do for teachers specifically. Not that we don't care about the administration and others, but teachers specifically, they're pulling the heavy load, and we know they are. And so I think I speak for my colleagues that are on the committee, and we're going to do everything humanly possible to come up with something for our teachers. As of right now, we don't have enough information coming out of Austin to know what we do or what we don't have. But we continue to face the same hurdles that we did. Then I've kind of, I guess, soapboxed the last 5 years. And, as sad as I am to say this, without ESSER, we would be in a horrific place as a district. I don't know any other way to say that. And so thankful for the federal government, the state government giving us those funds, and thankful for our team being so intelligent in how they went about using it. To not only help our facilities, but to support the folks that work in the district each and every day. So again, I think I speak for everybody. We hear you, we understand. We all personally feel the cost of inflation, and we'll do everything we can within reason.
I agree. Thank you, Ron. I concur with that. So we're committed to, when we get more information, looking at what we're working with and doing what we can for our teachers.
Someone that's not on the finance committee, I've committed to them that I will attend the next several, that to have the opportunity to just probe deeper and to try to find, that's my commitment to that as well.
And Shay, we want to thank you and your team for doing your due diligence and trying to come up with creative ways, right, to even insert what it looks like if we give it a 2 or 3% increase. And one of the things since I've been on the board, we found creative ways, primarily through one-time type incentives, to issue an increase of some sort, trying to cover every employee, not just the teachers, but paraprofessionals and nurses and so on and so forth. And I applaud Dr. Rollo and her team. One of the things that Kathy has been adamant about is actually reducing central office salaries and taking that initiative at the forefront. I think that's a unique thing with this district, that right here is not the ivory tower, so to speak, right? That so many of positions here have not been refunded or reestablished, and I think that's a work towards that mindset to create incentives or to have that funding necessary for our teachers. A very selfless act indeed. We sure appreciate the presentation. Any other questions, comments?
I would just like to thank Shay and her team and all of our team, because this has definitely been across the board a team effort to get to this point where we do have a balanced budget. Again, we have work to do this summer and then also moving into next year, because we know those ESSER funds are going away. We do still have the ESSER stipend in place for next year, the 123 that became 133. So that is still something that we will use to help retain our educators, and that goes to everyone, not just teachers, but it goes to our paraprofessionals as well. I would like to say that I think it is sad that we are at this point in this legislative session with a record surplus that our House and Senate have not been able to come to agreement on any sort of funding for schools. And I would urge everyone to please reach out to our legislators and help them understand that 5.5 million students are being educated in our public schools. And at this point, they have not been able to come to agreement on how to better support our public schools. So I just have to say that.
Well said, well said. Trustees, that concludes the budget presentation. We'll move now into item 11, our administrative action items. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board regarding the administrative action items posted? Seeing none, item A, approval of sponsorship agreement with Plains Capital Bank.
Yes, so I have some good news to share with you after that note, and I want to say thank you first to our friends at Plains Capital Bank for their patience this morning. I told them 8 o'clock would be a good time, and they have been waiting patiently. We are so incredibly grateful to our friends at Plains Capital Bank. 10 years ago, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years, but when our community voted to approve upgrades to our Lowry Field, Plains stepped forward and agreed to be our name sponsor of Plains Capital Park. And we have really enjoyed being able to highlight this partnership throughout the community over the last 10 years. That agreement is up at the end of this year, but we are incredibly grateful to Plains for stepping up and agreeing to be our partner at Plains Capital Park for the next 10 years. So thank you to Barry and all of our friends at Plains. We are incredibly grateful for you, and I know you were the advocate that took this to the powers that be at the top, but thank you, and would you join me in thanking Plains?
I might just say, Plains Capital Bank is proud to be a part of this partnership. We feel strongly, as our core tenants represent, that we want to take care of our customers, we want to take care of our employees, we want to take care of our stockholders, but we also want to take care of those communities in which we do business. And we recently celebrated 35 years of this chapter of our organization, and we're awfully proud of the fact that we've got buffalo signs all over town, including Plains Capital Park at Lowry Field. So we're really, really proud of that. We're proud of this opportunity that we had to continue to support what you all are doing. You all have a very, very difficult job, and we understand that as well as anyone. But we're just proud to know that not only can we call you a customer, but we can also call you a partner, and we can also call you friends. So thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of this continued partnership.
Thank you so much. And in case you haven't seen, the field is being replaced and the track as we speak, and so we will have new buffaloes on the field at Plains Capital Park.
Awesome. Trustees, any comments?
I would just, to Barry and David, having, as a recovering banker, appreciate y'all's involvement in the community, and while banks evolve and whatnot, y'all's commitment to Lubbock and to specifically to LSD doesn't go unnoticed. And part of the budget process is the fact that we're earning a very good return on our deposits, and so I know we have a lot of great bankers in town, but really appreciate what y'all and what Plains Capital does for us, because the amount that y'all are committing to is no small number, and it helps us pay for things without impacting budget other areas. So thank you guys.
And thank you so much. Your partnership and involvement in what our coaches and our kids are doing in our community, your commitment is second to none. So thank you. And I know that it doesn't stop with just the field. There's lots of employees that participate at our campuses, and so thank you for being part of our lives.
I would just say thank you for the investment in our students and in our staff and coaches that because of this partnership, all of the students, not just athletes, but the band and everyone that participates out there is blessed because of your support. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. I mean, warm-hearted smile and handshake and hugs all the time. Brother Barry, we appreciate what you and the team are doing, and we pray for a long-time investment for many years to come. I think so many of our families and students have been blessed by this partnership. I don't think we can actually put that into words, but we sure appreciate it. Maybe we can get you to go by there and get a piece of that turf before we haul it all off to JJ's house for his birthday.
Early retirement.
Yeah, early retirement. Something to remember us by, Coach. Do I have a motion to approve the sponsorship agreement with Plains Capital Bank?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you again, Brother Barry. Item B, approval of renaming Matthews Academy.
Yes,
Gorilla.
so as you guys are aware, we are repurposing the Dupree building, and it has been under construction throughout this year. And we are moving the Matthews program into the Dupree building. And with the move, we are bringing for your consideration and approval a new name for the Matthews program. And so we have a video to share with you.
Awesome.
Dupree Elementary was constructed in 1927. At 96 years old, it is the oldest school building in Lubbock ISD.
The school started in 1927 and was always an elementary school.
It was named after Marcy Matthias Dupree, one of Lubbock's earliest prominent educators.
I felt very honored to be the custodian, if you will, of a building that's historical, that was the oldest Lubbock ISD facility that was still a school.
Dupree was born on September 4th, 1866, near Winton, Ohio. After graduating from Ohio State University in 1886, he married Sally Bell Nasson and had 10 children together. In 1888, Dupree moved to Texas, where he would begin his journey in education. Over the next 26 years, he would make significant contributions in Shelbyville, Henderson, Troop, and Center, before moving to Lubbock and becoming the superintendent of schools in 1914. He also served on the West Texas Chamber of Commerce and was a key voice in the establishment of Texas Technological College, now known as Texas Tech University.
You know, we were talking through some of the social studies topics that we had for 5th grade, and one of them was the Dust Bowl, and we were talking about World War I and all these different things. This building was up for a lot of these things that we had talked through. So it was fascinating just to know that that many kids and that many families had been through there, had been affected by Dupree.
A lot of Lubbock people came through Dupree. We're students here. You'll meet people all the time who were here as elementary students who may be in their 80s and 90s now, and they remember being the Dogies, not the Dolphins, and they always bring that up.
As we were getting ready to close things up, people came out of the woodwork, saying, oh, I went there in 70, I went there in 75, I went there at this time in 60s, and whatever it was. But it was just amazing to see the rich history of people who still live in the area who remember it as their elementary school.
M.M. Dupree passed away on February 24th, 1925. He left a lasting legacy on Lubbock and helped pave the way for education to thrive on the South Plains.
We're so grateful for Dr. Rollo, Superintendent Rollo, and her staff, and also the Board of Trustees, that they give us an opportunity to continue the work that we're doing here at Matthews Academy, to be transferred over to Dupree Academy High School, and the work will continue. And I think the community will be served, and I think they'll be pleased with what we have to offer in that new community that we're moving in.
I'm thankful that somebody else gets to come along and experience that, and that it's still going to be used, because it is such a special place in that neighborhood, and it just has a special feel. I think just years of people pouring into it and being inside of it and doing great things. I'm just really thankful and grateful that somebody else is going to get to move in there and experience that and make good use of it.
I'm grateful that this beautiful building isn't going to sit empty, and that it's still going to serve students in Lubbock ISD.
It's great to know that this building that's so steeped in rich history is going to continue being a positive force in the community.
As far as the programs that we have now, we'll continue with these programs over at Dupree Academy High School. I think it'll be more opportunity and access for all students in Lubbock Independent School District.
Dupree is just very special. It was special to me, it was special to my staff and my families and to this community, and I'm excited to come back, and we're sitting in a construction zone right now, but I'm very excited to come back in a few months and see the final product.
So we are asking for your consideration and approval of renaming Dupree Elementary School, Dupree Academy High School. And just as a note, we will also move the Child Care Center to Dupree, and that has been expanded, as we will offer that for our employees as well as our students who are parents.
Oh, that's great.
Trustees, any comments?
Great video. That's really heartwarming, and it's wonderful to see that building be such a huge part of Lubbock ISD, continuing to be.
Do I have a motion to approve renaming Matthews Academy to Dupree Academy High School?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously.
And it will be ready for the first day of school.
That's worth an applause.
Yay!
Item 12 on the agenda, procurement and contracts. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board regarding any of the procurement and contract items posted? Seeing none, item A, approval of district purchases. Mr. Rick Rodriguez.
Morning, Mr. Stubblefield, Board of Trustees. Thank you very much. We'll move through these items fairly quickly. I think we just get started on them. You're going to see some purchases for some audio-visual. These are replacing the, Dr. Rollo mentioned earlier, the bond that we passed in 2010. So some of the equipment that we've installed then now is at that time for us to start replenishing it and replacing it. So that's what this RFP was done for. You see various awards that were given there. And these, we will be using ESSER funds for that particular purchase. The next two items are annual items that we bring to you for our utilities. One's for gas, and one is for the water, sewer, and electricity. In making note, as was said earlier, that we're sort of throwing a dart at the electricity number, but as we move forward in that process, and we've kept our facilities committee up to date on where we are with the deregulation process. The next two purchases are software purchases. Just to point out that the first one there with IXL Learning, it's for elementary kids, and we are replacing, which means we won't be using anymore, Dreambox. And so we're replacing it with this new software. The next software purchase is for Edgenuity, and we use title funds for the first one. The second one we're using both general and some title funds. ESSER 3 funds for that purchase. On the second page, we have some more software. This is tracking our special ed students. It's our data management system, and it was paid with IDEA funds. And then we are replacing the equipment, most of the equipment at the kitchen for Dupree. Basically, roughly 60% of the equipment in that kitchen will be new, and we're using food service funds to pay for that. So be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, trustees?
Rick, I have a question on the Lubbock Power and Light on the electricity. What was our budget increase for that, just based on?
So we've inserted a 10% increase. Again, just so that we're not going back with the same number that we brought you last year. We're just going to start with. If it goes above that, then obviously we'll have to come back and amend that for you, and once we see what that number is going to end up being.
So another budget item that we didn't really have control over, that came to us, that we have to now figure out a way to work into a budget that's already tight.
That is correct.
Okay.
But we will also have, who that supplier is going to be, and a whole new contract that we'll have to review and approve.
Sure. Absolutely.
Probably towards the end of this year, this summer, soon.
So October, at least, that date kind of continues to be, I'll use my word, squishy, because it kind of fluctuates, but there's some legislation that had to pass, and I believe they've now got it to the governor's desk in order for LP&L to release data from their customers to the market. And so I think that's happened, and so we're moving. LP&L has to do some things in order for us to be able to start having conversations. Now, you all did approve us joining the TASB co-op, so that we can now exchange information with them, so that we can decide if they're going to be our partner or not. We haven't selected them, but we've just taken steps to be able to start negotiating, having conversations about what benefits do they bring to the table. We're also going to continue to explore other avenues. The chamber's putting together a co-op, and we're going to go jump into there and see what that sounds like. We're just going to make sure we do our due diligence as a school district to make sure, because whatever little control we have, we're going to absolutely exercise that to do what's best for the district.
Thank you.
Commend your team for the additional work on doing that. That's time well invested. So thank you for the effort on that.
It's a whole new learning experience. So,
Thank you, Rick. Do I have a collective motion to approve the district purchases as presented?
Second.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Curry and Mr. Radley. Hey, Ms. Bridges was in there too somewhere. All right. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Approval of district contract renewals. Rick Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Stubblefield. So moving on to these items here, starting at the top, we have our student athletic and catastrophic insurance. That's an annual renewal we bring to you. We're in year 3 of 5. Just reminding you all, this is a insurance policy that can be purchased by parents, and this covers UIL sanctioned sports, and so typically is used as a supplemental policy to, for parents if they have insurance with another company, then this supplements that coverage in the event that the kiddo is injured or has some type of event that results in medical attention being needed. And then past that, our solid waste collection services, year 3 of 5, you see that. The digital print services, we are in year 5 of 5, and Mr. Jackson wanted me to point out the cost has gone down. You see the amount there, about $7,000. Every little dollar helps, and so that's our managed digital print program that we have with the district. Our print shop equipment, we are again in year 5 of 5. That's leasing, and I pushed a little bit and said, are we really using this? Is this something we need to continue to use? And it was a resounding absolutely yes. This is a great resource for our teachers, and it is absolutely used, and so we're pleased to be able to offer that for our teachers to access. And information I got was that it is highly used by our staff, so we're grateful to provide that service to them. The next one is Google Workspace. Those are for us to be able to use Google, and so that's again an annual purchase or renewal, excuse me. And then Eduphoria, y'all are familiar, you've heard that name before, the software we use for assessment and administering the assessments. On the second page, we are pleased to bring to you the renewal of our food service management system with Airmark. And I think Lori's here, and so we absolutely value our partnership with Airmark, and so we're excited to bring that back for renewal this year, again in year 2 of 5. Next few, there's some interlocal agreements there. One is for Texas Tech for the Talkington School for Young Women Leaders, and so for them to attend the Leadership Academy at Texas Tech. And then past that, the audiological services using Regional Day for the Regional Day School program for the deaf. Remember, Lubbock ISD hosts that, and so students benefit from around the area from being able to come and attend the schools here. And then past that is the clinic services for special services. We partner with Texas Tech Health Sciences Center in order, if we have services where we can't meet the need, then we partner with them. And so this is the renewal of that partnership. Be happy to try to answer any questions.
Questions? Rick, I got a question on the Leadership Academy at Texas Tech. Why only the 8th graders at Talkington?
I don't have the answer to that.
I don't either, but I can certainly find out for you.
Yeah. Because I understand, if I understand it correctly, I was approached by some of the folks out there at Mentor Tech, I believe, in saying that they specifically try to get as many of Lubbock ISD students out there as possible. And they tend to say that they have quite a few spots that they try to hold for our students. So I'm just wondering if there is talk going forward of maybe possibly looking at 8th graders, period. I'm sure it's probably Science is a Girls thing or one of those camps out there.
I think this one is actually specifically by the Talkington Foundation.
It is funded by
Is
that.
it foundation?
Or Talkington, that's part of, we participate in all the things that you're naming. We have students across the district that we advertise those things for, and try to support them to attend those over the summer. But I think this is actually a different piece that is designed only for the girls.
From the foundation. Okay, that clears me up.
It's absolutely funded by the foundation.
Okay.
This is not
That explains it. All right, because I was looking to get every
No,
kid
we're
out there.
with you.
All right.
All of our kids attending those other activities as well.
All right, thank you so much, Misty, for that explanation. All right. Do I have a collective motion to approve the district contract renewals as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. The motion passes unanimously. Item C, approval of district construction purchases. Rick.
Thank you, Mr. Stubblefield. So two items for you today. One is for professional fees for roof replacement and other repairs at Coronado High School, and the second one is for Rush and the VTC, both for professional fees.
Questions? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approval of construction job order contracting delivery method and delegation of authority.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stubblefield. This is a standard item, type of item anyway. We're asking for delegation of authority for us to choose criteria and relative weights, ranking, selection, evaluation, bids, proposals, and qualifications for two projects. One is for the hardening at Pete Regis, and the other is for outdoor improvements at Brown Elementary School.
Any questions,
Would
trustees?
outdoor improvements be, what is that?
It is basically an extension of the courtyard. We're putting in some turf and just extending the courtyard. Done some improvements back there. We did some concrete work, and so this is just basically extending that.
And outdoor
that area.
learning spaces as
It's
well, so.
correct.
Okay.
This is
Correct.
using ESSER
Good,
dollars.
that's what I was, yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
I'm going to read this motion out. Do I have a motion to approve delegating authority to the superintendent for choosing criteria, relative weights, ranking, selecting and evaluation of proposals, and to approve the use of the construction job order contracting delivery method for the renovations of the projects presented?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Item E, approval of district construction contract renewals.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stubblefield, thank you. These are two not to exceed requests. One is for floor coverings, as we have situations that where we need to across the district do repair work or those kinds of things that for flooring, and the other is for portable building relocation services. Again, not to exceed at this point. I don't really think we're going to get anywhere near that number for portable movement, but it's good. We just want to have that in case there is a situation that arises where we need to move a portable from place A to place B.
Trustees, any comments, questions? I've collected a motion to approve the district construction contract renewals as presented.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passes unanimously. Well, I do not believe we have a need for another executive section. Okay, so that brings us to item 15 on the agenda. Were you wanting one? Is that what?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Well, it is 9:48, and this meeting is now adjourned.